Oh my god, I did not plan on this video to be this long. Jesus Christ. Okay, guys. So we've got a bug fix patch, we've got the PTB patch notes, and I have the PTB review, and I'm putting them all in the same video with chapters down below because I am not going to sit here and try to make like 14 different videos in one day. So let's go ahead, let's go through the bug fix patch notes. 8.1.2 bug fix patch is out. The perks, Killer, Strider, the effect of the perk is no longer multiplicative, meaning that it will increase Survivor grunts of pain volume even if they have Iron Will. Survivor, Iron Will, the effect of the perk is no longer multiplicative, meaning it will lower Survivor grunts of pain volume rather than set it to 0. What was the fucking point of buffing the perk then? I'm too tired, guys. I'm too tired. A bug fix is 2v8. Hooked music should now be playing correctly when the player is in a 2v8 cage. The survivor's innate skill self-care ability icon should now be correctly lit when in the dying state. Or reveal SFX now correctly plays when being chased by the killer. Archives fixed an issue where deselecting the image reward within Tome 20 Mythic's journal collection will cause the game to freeze momentarily. Audio, a killer disconnecting and being replaced by a bot will now correctly trigger the replaced by bot sound cue. Bots, improve bots pathing to avoid them trying to climb insurmountably steep hills. The Huntress bot is now better at charging up her hatchet to the correct amount. Okay. Characters, fixed an issue that caused the white aura to be shown when the Singularity looks at pods directly. Fixed an issue that caused the Knight's Guard preview icon on the Knight's arm to be inconsistent with the selected guard. Fixed an issue that caused the Trapper's Bear Oil add-on to only silence one bear trap in the trial. I didn't even know that was a thing. Fixed an issue that caused survivors to be floating when hit by the Mastermind's virulent bone at the end of the self-unhook animation. Perks, fixed an issue that caused weaving spiders to not complete generators when above 90% repair progress. Fix an issue that caused specialists to make generators impossible to complete if every survivor in the trial had consumed max tokens on the same generator. This should also fix other cases incompletable generators when combining other perks with specialists. Okay. Fix an issue that caused survivors to lose their equipped items when crafting a flashbang. Fix an issue that caused Dead Hard to not give endurance effect if off the record is triggered. Platforms, fixed an issue that caused the Wraith shadow to be visible while cloaked from a survivor POV on Switch. And then miscellaneous, they fixed an issue that would cause the game to freeze when the Lich leaves the tally screen before all other users after a match. And fixed an issue that would cause the escape cake offering to not consistently award bonus blood points. That's the patch notes for the bug fix that's on live. Let's get into the PTB patch notes and then my PTB review. Fuck! Let's play a game. Let's see if I can get through the entirety of the patch notes for the PTB and give my thoughts on them before I get a fucking game on the PTB. This is honestly why, like, every time somebody's always like, oh, hold on, let me shut Dracula up here. Every time somebody's always like, oh, well, I just don't understand, like, why you only play the PTB for like 2 hours and then you make a video on it. This is why. This is fucking why, because I'm sick and tired of sitting in queue staring into space. And I'm not even streaming this because I have to leave my house in 45 minutes to go do something, and then I'm gonna have to fucking come back and see what else I can try to test on the PTB. But in literally almost an hour, I've gotten one game with Dracula. Anyway, so this is everything that's coming to the PTB. I figured I would throw this into my PTB thoughts video because people are always asking me to like go over the powers and perks and everything. So I'm going to read all of this to you. I will tell you that I have played one game of Dracula and the raw gameplay is going to be on the extras channel. So yeah. So, Trevor Belmont is the new survivor. We've got the perk Eyes of Belmont. When a generator is completed, the aura of the killer is revealed to you for 1, 2, 3 seconds. Anytime the killer's aura is shown for a period of time, its duration is increased by 2 seconds. So it's a lethal pursuer for survivors, which is really cool, something that I've been really wanting to see for a while. This combined with open-handed might be kind of cool, but realistically speaking, I think it's going to be one of those things that you throw in. I was thinking it would go really good with Dark Sense and Alert, and just kind of give you just like a really, really, really wild map-wide aura. You know, you could throw your fourth perk could be Babysitter or Wicked, you know, something like that. Even, well, it wouldn't be Kindred because Kindred doesn't have a timer on it. So this is that it's really interesting. It's really interesting. You could also throw it on with open-handed and then put a key on. So open-handed works with the key, and then this works with, or open-handed works with the key and Dark Sense, and then this will work with Dark Sense and Alert. So yeah. The next perk is Exaltation. Stunning the killer with a pallet upgrades your held item rarity to the next tier, then recharges 25% of the item's maximum charges. Rarity is not kept at the end of the trial. This perk has a 40, 35, 30-second cooldown. I am not a fan of the fact that you do not keep the rarity to the next trial. I think this would be a fantastic perk for people who want to like upgrade their equipment. It could also give like an actual use to like brown toolboxes and brown stuff. Like people would actually start using common items so that they could like build up an arsenal of like really powerful items over time. And it would also be like, oh, you want to get a Commodious, right? So you bring a yellow toolbox and then you pallet stun, but then you have to like pre-drop everything, which pre-dropping I know is boring, but what I'm saying is that it adds a little bit of thought, right? So I like everything except for rarity is not kept. I think that's stupid. Get rid of that. Then there's Moment of Glory. The perk activates after you open or rummage through 2 chests. When you become injured, you become broken, automatically heal 1 health state after 80, 70, or 60 seconds. I don't like the timer. 60 seconds is a very long time. This is probably going to be a dead perk slot 99% of the time. Unless you're running, you could probably fix this with Overcome, but even then, like, I think it should be like 45 seconds. I think 60 seconds is really, really long. But you could also do it with Vigil, which would bring it down to about 45 seconds. No, Vigil would bring it down to like 50-ish or so. So, it's a good perk, but it's also a good perk that you're not going to see use out of, I think. Yeah. So then we have Dracula. They call him the Dark Lord. Dracula can shapeshift into 3 forms. Now, I am going to give my full opinion after I go through all of these, so just, you know, keep that in mind. If you want, I should leave a chapter down below. But the vampire form, in his default state, the Dark Lord can use the power of the Hellfire, which creates pillars of flame that travel ahead of him and can be cast across low obstacles. These travel in a straight line, so they're like a whip. I thought it was a wall. It is not. It is a whip. It is Nemesis's whip that goes 7 meters. Okay. Wolf form. In wolf form, the Dark Lord has access to several abilities that allow for more effective tracking. Movement speed is increased. They say that, but he actually feels really slow. Blood pools and scratch marks are more apparent, and survivors leave a trail of scent orbs behind them. The Dark Lord can collect these scent orbs to charge a powerful pounce attack. The pounce attack is on a cooldown. You don't collect them to charge it. You collect them to reduce the cooldown, and they give you a little short haste boost when you pick them up. And then while in bat form, the Dark Lord gains undetectable status effects. Additionally, he moves faster, ignores vault points, and can teleport. And then for some reason, survivors become invisible. You can't attack survivors. You can't grab them off of things. I don't know why survivors become invisible. It's fucking stupid, and all it does is punish deaf people. So yeah. And then we got his perks. Oh, I have a game. We'll pick this up after the game, I guess. So, I actually ended up in between takes playing 2 games of Dracula, and so I have a pretty good idea about what I want to say about him. But first, let's get through the rest of this so you guys have an idea of what's happening on the PTB. So, the first thing up is his perk, Hex Wretched Fate. After 1 generator has been repaired, a random dull totem becomes a Hex totem and curses the obsession. The obsession then has a 33% penalty, and they also see the Hex totem within 12 meters. This is really fucking stupid. So it is not, so this perk works like Face the Darkness. It does not work like 2 can play. If you cleanse this perk, it's gone forever for the rest of the trial. The fact that it works that way means that giving the obsession the ability to see the fucking Hex is really, really stupid. Now, there's 2 ways that I would fix this. Number 1 is only the obsession can cleanse the totem. It's blocked for everybody else. Or number 2, you just get rid of the aura reading and anybody can cleanse the Hex. The reason I'm saying this is because, generally speaking, you're not going to get any use out of this perk. They're going to go find the fucking Hex totem because they can see its goddamn aura, and then they're going to cleanse the thing, and then it's going to be worthless. At least with something like Pentimento, there's an inherent slowdown to it that is made for the whole team. This is a slowdown for 1 person, and that does not matter. And God forbid God forbid this perk activates, and it's happened to me in both of my games. God forbid this perk activates, and then you just, you find the obsession, and then you're chasing the obsession. Well, then it's worthless, because it does nothing. I don't think this perk is that strong. If I were to put it in a tier list, I'd put it in like C, because it's adequately powerful slowdown, but for literally one person, and it doesn't. That's not great. You know what I mean? Next up is Human Greed. You see unopened chests, auras, and survivor auras are revealed for 3 seconds when they enter an 8-meter range. You also gain the ability to kick chests to close them. This ability has a 80, 70, or 60-second cooldown. Survivors unlock these closed chests faster. So it took me a few times reading this to understand what it meant. The 3 seconds when they enter an 8-meter range is not on a cooldown. That does not go on a cooldown. The ability to kick the chest closed is on a cooldown, and once you close a chest, they have the ability to open that closed chest 50% faster. You might think you could combine this with like Hoarder, and it would be like really good ore reading. The problem is that it's only 3 seconds. If this worked like Weave Attunement, it would be far better. I say, personally, make this like Weave Attunement, but then get rid of the ability to close chest. Oh, but then what would we do with numbers? I don't know, the meter range, I guess. Or we could just get rid of perk tiers because they're worthless, but whatever. Next up, we have Dominance. Each time a totem and chest, the first time each totem and each chest is interacted with by a survivor, that totem or chest is blocked by the entity for 4, 6, or 8 seconds, and the auras of blocked totems and chests are revealed to you in white. This is a very powerful Hex perk defender, and I do personally believe that this will have its place in Hex builds where you are trying to protect a very specific Hex. So for example, I have this really janky third seal build that I have on my Legion. I think that this will go good with like Thrill of the Hunt. Like you do a very powerful, like Devour Hope even, right? So you do a really powerful Hex, and then you do Undying, Thrill of the Hunt, and Dominance. And it's just, cleansing the totem becomes an absolute pain in the fucking ass for them. So I think that might be pretty cool. Now, the killer updates. Now I did the dev update for this already, so I'm just gonna kind of speed through these because there are some add-on changes as well that we're gonna talk about. So Static Blast's cooldown is now dynamic. If no survivor was caught in the Static Blast, the cooldown will be 30 seconds. If at least one survivor is caught in the Static Blast, it will be 45 seconds. So it's an overall net buff. This does not work the way I originally thought it did, where when they enter your radius, it changes the cooldown. Instead, it is activate it, and if you catch someone, it's 45. If you don't, it's 30. The class 2 notes have been upgraded or downgraded to reduce the Static Blast by 2.5 seconds, and Carter's notes has been downgraded to reduce it by 3 seconds. So if you double stack these, that's 5.5, so you'll be 40 seconds or 25 seconds, you know, give or take. I think these changes are fine. I still think the increased movement speed while charging the Static Blast to almost 3 meters a second is only really going to be felt by people who normally play Doctor. I will try to have patience and get some testing in with new Doctor and everything, so I can put that in the review section coming after this. But I can't promise you anything. So yeah, the Doctor looks like it's going to be pretty cool. I think this is good. I just wish it was like madness based, like based off the amount of madness tiers in play what the cooldown was. Because I think those kind of dynamics are really, really sick. Like Dredges or Freddy's. Well, Freddy only has it with an add-on, but you know, Dredges or who else has a dynamic cooldown? I don't think anybody else does. I think Dredge is the only one whose Nightfall has a dynamic cooldown. I could have swore there was someone else. I feel like there's someone else and I'm forgetting. I'm sure I'll be reminded in the comments. Cause Hux doesn't do it anymore. Hux used to be the Slipstream lasted longer. Alright, so the Dredge base kit. Decrease the volume of the dredge's audio, increase the movement speed while charging Reign of Darkness, decrease the daytime cooldown to 10 seconds, was 12 seconds, increase daytime teleport speed to 19, was 12. I did find out from watching a Gaming Athlete video that the old cooldown, or the old teleport speed or the nighttime teleport speed is 32 meters, so 19 is around half-ish of that. A little over half, so that's actually really good. Decrease the time to exit lockers to 2.25 and increase the night charges per injured survivor to 1 charge per second, was 0.75, which is pretty good. They changed some add-ons. The boat key increases the teleport speed daytime by 3 meters, was 5. So now if you have it equipped, it'll be a if you have it equipped, it will be 22 meters a second. Hattie's calendar decreases the time to exit a locker by 0.4, used to be 1 second, so it's a pretty significant nerf, but it's still going to be very powerful with this. Actually, now that I look at it, why is that so... Oh, okay, all right, I'm stupid, that's why, don't mind me. Malthinker skull, this is the yellow skull, and this used to increase the charges gained by 66%. They nerfed it all the way down to 25%, which is an insane fucking nerf. I think 50%, maybe 30%, 25% is crazy. Malthinker is probably still going to be like one of Dredge's strongest add-ons, but it's a pretty bad one, guys. That's a pretty bad nerf. Decreases the cooldown time on the Glooming by -2 seconds during daytime, was 4 seconds. Which is his remnant, I think, his teleport. I'm gonna say this is a teleport. So yeah. And then Nemesis base kit, they decreased the mutation rate to 2 requirement to 5, used to be 6. So now you can get it, you can get 2 tier 2 by focusing 1 survivor without Marvin's blood. And then they increased the hindered penalty to 2 seconds, was 0.25. The liquor tongue is now stupid powerful, increasing the hindered to 5 total seconds. That is crazy. That is insane. The liquor tongue is actually really strong now. 5 seconds of 20% hinder means that they only have, I think like 130% speed now, which doesn't seem like a lot, but it's way down from the 150% speed, and it's for 5 seconds. Remember, they only get the speed boost for 2. So literally, it goes 130%, and then after 2 seconds, it drops from 100% to an 80% movement speed. Liquor Tongue is stupid strong now. Marvin's Blood now gives an extra 0.5, used to be 0.75, not that big of a change. Marvin Blood is still going to be one of Nemesis's best add-ons, so yeah. Now they go through and they did a bunch of these updates. I did all these in the dev updates, but basically what they're doing is they're lowering activation times, lowering activation times and lowering durations of all trap-based perks. So yeah, it just across the board, every trap-based perk got basically a huge buff, so have fun with that. General gameplay updates, they increased it to 70 seconds for the hook stages, which I'm on the fence about. I've got a video coming out about that, probably, hopefully later next week. I've been wanting to think on it for a little bit to see how I feel about it. So map updates. Dracula's castle will spawn in the sky of Dead by Daylight original maps when playing against Dracula. I didn't fucking know that because I haven't played Survivor yet, so we'll have to check that out. Midwich did get some changes, which I have not been able to play on yet. I will try to get that as well before the review. Features, graphic options, they added some support for something. Live data reboot. As part of our live operations, we occasionally deploy updates to the game without needing an update of the game application itself. These updates include kill switches and new cosmetics amongst other data. Starting from release, when a critical data update is required to be downloaded by the game, you may see a pop-up asking you to return to the splash screen. What this basically means is anytime they kill switch something or they add new cosmetics or whatever the case may be, instead of just playing the game and not getting it, you will be kind of forced to restart the game. They did this because during the Trickster bug, after they kill switched Trickster, there was a prominent Trickster player, not prominent, I wouldn't say they're a prominent Trickster player, but there was a Trickster player on Twitter who actively refused to close their game so they could continue to play Trickster and cause the bug to other people. So they're basically forcing you to restart the game so that doesn't happen again. UX, lobby controller compatible navigation. Players can now toggle rotation mode using the right stick. Character preview, as in the store, they don't need to press A on top to use, okay. Cosmetics, subtabs, this is apparently good for console players. I don't know, you guys will have to let me know down below. Settings menu, disabled options are shown are grayed out. Disabled options shown are grayed out instead of having black transparent background. Some proofreading, guys. Miscellaneous. The prestige levels of players is no longer visible with an outline lobby within an online lobby post matchmaking. Easy upgraded easy anti-cheat to a new version. Please do not crash my computer. Now this is what I've been seeing all over Twitter. This is bullshit. There is now a limit of 1,000 of any item, add-on, or offering. Sorry, 10,000. There's now a limit of 10,000 of any item, add-on, or offering. Who asked for this behavior? Why do you keep making changes to shit nobody fucking asked for? Like, there are so many things in this game that need to be changed, updated, buffed, nerfed, whatever the case. And just who at your fucking who at the office is like fucking spinning a big old wheel, right? They're like, all right, what are we gonna fucking randomly change today? Ah, yes. Oh, hold on. Sorry about that. Mama Kaiser called. What was the joke I was doing? Oh yeah, so there's somebody out in the behavior's office that's like spinning a big wheel. You go. Limit the number of items, offerings, add-ons that people can have. Yeah, that sounds good. No, nobody fucking wanted that. Nobody asked for that. There was nobody was sitting there like fucking fuming, just, oh, I hate people who have lots of offering. No, like that just wasn't fucking happening. So please behavior, for the love of fucking God, stop changing shit that doesn't need to be changed. Anyway, let's finish this up because I gotta go pick up the dog from the groomers. Fixed an issue that caused the long grass to make no sound on collision. Didn't know that was a problem. Fixed an issue where season grade reset reward sounds triggered multiple times with no visual. Didn't know that was a problem. Characters. Fixed an issue that caused the trapper to sometimes not pick up bear traps despite the animation, playing while wearing the Naughty Bear outfit. That's really, really good. As funny as it was, it did need to be fixed. Fixed an issue that caused placing a trap as multiple characters, Trapper Hag Nightmare, to close to walls or other objects to sometimes be canceled even though the placement indicator shows a valid location. Didn't know that was a problem. The survivor grab animation is now correctly aligned when the dredge teleports to a locker at the same time a survivor enters it. The Demogorgon can no longer perform actions while traveling through a tunnel and opening and closing the match detail screen. So there was this bug where you could place a tunnel, someone could stand in a locker, and then you could go through the tunnel and hit them while they were in the locker. I don't think that needed to be fixed. I think that was such a niche bug that it could have stayed. Pretty much nobody knew about it. In order to do it properly, you had to have a lot of setup, you know? So yeah. Jittering should be reduced when spectating killers. Some issues still remain on the killer's weapons and are being looked at. Okay, so that's really good, because there was this really bad, like for tournaments and stuff, when you're watching the killer's point of view, like really bad camera shake that caused like severe headaches. It was stupid. Maps. Collision update pass on the Garden of Jagoffs. Collision update pass on Macmillan. Greenville Park, where parking tile doesn't spawn. I didn't know that was a problem. I dropped my glasses. Well, because I'm a fucking idiot. Fixed an issue on Toba where invisible collisions hindered the navigation of players. That's good. Greenville Park where Victor would dissolve when jumping in the stairs. What the fuck? Okay. UI, if a player disconnects from the trial due to network issues, they will no longer see the killer's loadouts or name. Or name? You can't see their name anymore? Okay. Fix player HUD text, font readability, and health bar elements to their previous size. Thank you! Thank you! Fixed tally buttons, navigation misalignment. Fixed missing hair on the good guy default and prestige head. Fixed an issue with the reward size on the tutorial screen. Known issues. There are no indications in the blood web when an item has reached a 10,000 inventory limit is purchased. So you don't even remove the item if you hit the limit. So not only are you limiting people randomly, but people aren't going to be able to farm. Like, let's say people don't use brown add-ons, which they don't. They're not even going to be able to farm those brown add-ons to, like, permanently remove them from the blood web so that they could get the better add-ons. Which would, by the way, would be a fantastic reward in compensation for this dumb shit. Like, that would literally be someone who one-tricks a character would be properly rewarded by getting better and better stuff the more they farm the lower quality stuff. So not only are you adding a really stupid change, you're also further not, like, rewarding people for reaching this arbitrary limit you've attached. Okay, the Dark Lord and Trevor Belmont do not unlock bloody cosmetic among reaching prestige level 4 to 6. So they said they're going to fix that, hopefully. And the Dance With Me perk icon does not correctly show the cooldown. So that's all the patch notes. That's all the patch notes for the PTB. Now I'm going to jump into what is going to ostensibly be about 3 hours from now, when I can give you my actual review of the PTB and everything that I've experienced within it. So I hope you guys enjoy that. And yeah, let's get into that. So after playing the PTB for a little bit today, I will tell you a few things. Number one, I did not get to, or not that I didn't get to, but I really just don't have the time. If I want to get this video out before late tonight, I just did not have the time to play through Trevor and test his perks, Trevor Belmont. I also, just because I didn't really have an interest in doing so, I did not play Nemesis and I did not play Doctor. But I did play the new killer Dracula. I did take a quick tour of the new mid bitch with Wraith in a custom lobby. And I did test out the Dredge, because the Dredge, of the 3 killers I got changed, the Dredge is the most interesting to me, because Dredge has needed a buff for a very long time. So we're going to go ahead and quickly run through all of those. I'm going to try not to take up too much of your time, because this video is long enough already with the Bugfix patch and the patch notes for this, and it just, oh my god. Okay, so let's talk about the perk lineup, or let's talk about Dracula. So I already talked about the perks in the patch notes section. So if you're like, oh, you're not going to talk about the perks? No, I'm not. I already talked about them in the patch notes section. You can go, I talked about them in the very beginning, so you can go check that out. So where Dracula is concerned, how he plays is, I fully believe that he is not that strong. I'm not going to say he's weak. He's somewhere in the B tier. Where in the B tier he's at, I can't fucking tell you. I have no unearthly idea. I want to say somewhere middle of B, but he might even be bottom of B. And there's a few reasons for that. And I think most of it comes from the fact that Dracula feels very clunky. So the way you switch between Dracula's forms is you hold down the power button, and then you either left or right click to shift to forms. The problem that I have with this, the way that it works, is kind of unintuitive. So you hold down the power button, and left click is wolf form and right click is bat form. So you hit right click to go into bat form, for example, and you want to use the bat form to go, you know, find survivors, which is kind of difficult because for some unearthly reason, survivors are invisible when you're in bat form. There is zero reason for this, by the way. You can't hit the survivors while they're in bat form. You can't grab them while you're in bat form. You can't interact with survivors in any capacity while you're in bat form. The only other character who has survivors invisible to them while they are undetectable is the spirit. And that makes sense because the spirit can instantly hit or grab survivors out of her phase, and survivors also can't see her. So it's a trade-off. But here, there's no reason for that. You can see the bats. The bat is very big, and there's a swarm of them, and you can hear them from a fucking mile away. So being in bat form essentially puts yourself at a disadvantage for no reason. You can use the bat form to teleport to vaults, which can be used to cut off survivors, but any survivor just simply paying attention is going to be able to get away from you, and you can't quick swap either. When you play Dracula and you swap to your bat form, there's a penalty before you can teleport. And then once you teleport, you can quick swap back to Dracula, but there's a penalty after swapping to Dracula, or your wolf form, whichever one, that you can't do anything with that either. So because of all these massive penalties in between all of your actions, quick swapping mid-chase doesn't do much for you. And so the bat form, at least in my opinion, is almost completely worthless. You might as well stay in Dracula's form and utilize his honestly pretty badass anti-loop. Dracula's power is is pillars of flames that go 7 meters forward. It's a Nemesis whip or a Xeno tail attack. It can go over short walls and pallets and windows. It can go over those things. There's an add-on to increase its range by adding an extra pillar, and its hitbox is very static, right? So you activate it and then it goes so there's no click and drag with it like you can do with Nemesis or my brain's not working today. There's no click and drag with it like you can do with Nemesis or Xeno. I was trying to test if I can hit multiple survivors in a row with it, but no survivor would fucking line up for me. I tried to get them to do it and they just wouldn't. So unfortunately, I have no idea. I hope it can. It looks like it can. I will say in the Pillar of Flames department, there's an eerie add-on that makes it to where when the exit gates are open, there's just a constant pillar of fire, and that's really fucking funny. So it's honestly one of those things where I think I'll be searching out for it because it's gonna be really funny for in-game builds. Then there's the wolf form. So the wolf form is your basic chase form. You use Dracula for anti-loop, you use wolf for basic chases. So you use the wolf form to kind of track them. You're supposedly move faster in it, but it doesn't really feel like you do. I don't know if that's the third person perspective or whatever the case may be, but you don't really feel faster in the wolf form. But while you're in wolf form, they drop these little orbs. The orbs, when you pick them up, severely reduce the cooldown of your pounce attack, which is not in your control. If you hold down the right click to pounce, as soon as it charges up, you just fly. It's kind of like Chucky's Slice and Dice. You hold down the right click and then it goes. The pounce just goes forward. But you can do these really neat things where you pounce and then turn and then lunge right afterwards. So there's no cooldown after the pounce unless you hit someone. So if you contact someone or a pallet, you'll injure or break, and then you'll do whoo, right? You'll howl. I like the wolf form for the most part. Like I said, it does feel kind of awkward, but in general terms, it's one of those things where, I'll have to play it more to get a little bit better concept and grasp of the situation. But overall, I like Dracula. I'm just very disappointed with the bat form, and the way that he swaps between everything feels clunky. Oh, what I was saying earlier, I forgot. If you're in bat form, so you right-clicked to get into bat form, when you go to swap back, you can't right-click to go back into Dracula. Sometimes it'll show up as a left-click to go into Dracula. So you'll want to shift from, say, bat form to wolf form, and you'll try that, and you'll just end up being Dracula, and then you'll be in another penalty before you can go into wolf form. So it's very unintuitive. I wish they would just do it like a wheel like they did for Vecna. I have no idea why they didn't keep that design, because it's better that way. The new mid-bitch is kind of cool. It's very cluttered, which I don't particularly like, but it is severely nerfed for killers. All of the line of sight blockers are just absolutely devastating for basically most killers who excelled in the map. It's going to be so easy to dodge every ranged killer in the game now. It is excessively cluttered. Is it bad? Not necessarily, but I wouldn't say it's good either. They did some UI changes. The add-ons are now, for some reason, these small squares that are on the side of the power on top of each other. Instead of being the big squares they used to be, they're now like really randomly rearranged into tiny squares. Behavior, who asked you to do that? I said this in my patch notes thing, but like, why are all these random, why? Like, who's asking for these changes? Who asked for these UI updates? Who asked for the fucking 10,000 limiter? Who asked for this? Give me their names. I want to publicly shame them on Twitter. I want to know who asked for this shit. Because none of us did. Everybody was fine with the way shit used to look. We were perfectly okay with the old UIs. Why do you keep changing shit? But anyway, final talks. We'll talk about the Dredge real quick. I think, personally, the Dredge is... he feels a lot better in Chase and in Teleport. But he still is going to heavily suffer from map dependency as quite possibly the most map-dependent killer in the entire game, because locker spawns have not been normalized. Until they normalize locker spawns, I don't know that you could consider the Dredge above C tier. I don't see how he could ever be considered above C tier, because his map dependency is the most map dependent in the game outside of Trapper. Legitimately, the Dredge is so map dependent because you can spawn in maps where no lockers spawn on an entire third of the map. So yeah. So while the Dredge feels better, I will say that he's probably still C tier because his map dependency is so high. But I can tell you that I can't wait to see Gaming Athlete work with this new movement speed when you're charging your Remnant. It is insane. It feels crazy fast compared to how it used to be. So yeah, so that's all I have about the PTB. Everything seems pretty weird. I was gonna go over Dracula's add-ons because they're all pretty lackluster, but at the same time, I don't really mind them because they all do something very similar to Vecna's add-ons, where each add-on contributes to a different shapeshift form, and then you have like some general ones. So I like that it can like help you develop a playstyle around the different shapeshifting. All I want for the bats is for survivors to not be invisible. Take that out and then remove some of the clunkiness, and I think Dracula is going to be in my rotation of killers, if for anything but that iridescent add-on, because that thing was badass. But other than that, oh, one last thing, behavior. If any of you guys watch this, I just want to say, could we please just give us like 10 million blood points on the PTB? You give us 1,200 Auric cells that nobody ever fucking uses every PTB. Why can we not just have 10 million blood points so we can P3 all the new characters and get the add-ons and actually get to test shit? Because I'm quite frankly tired of this. This go-round, they didn't even take a snapshot from the rank reset, because usually you go in and they snap the rank reset so you get like 2 million blood points to test things. No, I had 700 when I logged in. I don't know where they grabbed the snapshot from, but it was from a random day when I had dumped all my blood points into somebody and had 700 after I logged off. Dude, that is... Really? Really? But anyway, as always, a great big special thank you to my channel members listed on screen now. Hope you guys have thank you so much for your additional support. If you want to find out how to become a channel member, they get awesome perks like seeing videos early, merch discount codes, and more, then please click that join button down below. I appreciate you guys so much, and I will see you in the next one. I almost forgot, but if you want to see me play Dracula, then you can check out the extras channel. I will be uploading a video either later tonight or tomorrow morning, depending on how fast it renders, with me playing Dracula. So yeah, if you want to check that out, go to the extras channel. Link in the description. Need more Kaiser in your life? Well, I've got you covered. Check out my second channel, The Kaiser Extras, where I upload full gameplays, stream compilations, me reacting to your Dead by Daylight clips, and more. We also upload a daily short with all the greatest clips from stream. We'll see you over there. Link is in the description.